Hey everyone, every week I like to do a spotlight. My name's Stacie Koroly. I'm a local realtor, but my focus during this quarantine time is local businesses and specifically Malvern Borough. And this pertains to anyone that lives in the area that is looking for something to do today, Thursday, because for the first time since December, Malvern is going to have Malvern Stroll Thursday. And not only that, with me today is the president of local business in Malvern, David Campli. David, how are you?
Hey, great, Stacie. Thanks for having me. How you doing?
I love having you every time, David. I'm doing great.
Good.
But today, why don't you talk about Malvern Stroll and God, like what a blessing that we can have in our little town, a getaway for people.
Yeah, well, we decided that it was time to welcome everybody home. So you'll notice the little subtle yellow and green theme in today's Stroll banner. And we did the same in our new banners that we have around town because we're in yellow. Yay! We're getting there. So yeah, welcome back. It's today, Thursday. Bring your mask. Head over to the shops. Everybody is very excited to welcome you. And I think the restaurants will probably personally hold up a little umbrella for you to stay outside tonight, even if it rains.
I mean, I can't wait to see everybody. When does it start, David? I think it ends at 8, but of course it'll keep on going on. But when does it start?
It really starts. It's all day long, but the artists that are up on the screen right now start around 5:30, and the shops are going to stay open till 8, and the restaurants I can't remember exactly what time they're allowed to serve till or can serve outside till, but it's after that. So we're ready. I mean, Campli Photography is ready right now if you want to stroll in.
Yes. So David, let's talk a little bit about these artists and what they're doing during Malvern Stroll. So we have Joanne, who's going to Knots and Weaves. What, these 6 artists on King Street, what are they doing?
Well, Andrea at Gallery 222 is really the driving force behind putting these folks together. And these are all of her friends in the art world, and many of them display at Gallery 222 as well. So she called on them and said, hey, we want to get Stroll started with a bang. Will you guys consider painting out on the street with your easels, out on the sidewalks with your easels, whatever you feel like painting. So whatever current painting they're working on, they're going to bring into the street, into the sidewalk.
And you two do a great job. So you with Campli Photography and also Andrew Strang, like just a strong foundation for our Malvern community. And what a great idea now that we're in yellow.
Yeah, we're in yellow. We're excited.
Can people go in your studio tonight?
Yeah, so we've done everything that we need to do. We've got the sanitizer out. We've got the masks if you forget to bring one or you lose one on the way.
Good.
And we just have a traffic pattern built into the studio that you're coming in one door and you're going out the other. And, you know, we're not really going to invite you to sit down and have long conversations because that's not the right thing to do, but stroll through and see what's here and then move on to the next place.
All right, perfect. So with that, we have some restaurants that will have outdoor seating. For instance, Christopher's, which we love.
Yeah, there's a shot there of the Flying Pig, which has been terrific because, you know, the Flying Pig was closed for so long.
Yes.
And they got their approval from the borough just last week to put a few tables out, and they're doing signups. And so you do have to sign up for a spot, but it's going well. They're having a blast out there.
I do want to stop everybody real quickly before we go to Brick and Bro. So the Flying Pig has been another staple in our community. Steve Iacobucci and his friend since grade school, Fred, own this bar. It's awesome. And if anybody is really into microbrews, IPAs, this is the place to go. And it has great food.
It's been here. I can't even imagine how long. It's over 20 because I've been here for 30, so it's over 20. And they just you know, everyone, you can go anywhere in this area and you say the word Malvern and people, the first thing they'll say, the Flying Pig.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's take a look at the Brick and Brew. So they do have outdoor seating anyway, and here it is, gorgeous building.
Yeah, so Brick and Brew is obviously our newest addition to Malvern. Around this time last year, the end of May, they opened last year, and they have their built-in seating at the upper level,
Yes,
and they have lots of it. Obviously, they'd all would love to be seating you inside, but that can't happen yet.
right.
But they have a fantastic view and fantastic food, and their alcohol selection, their beers and their
Yes.
bourbons and all the rest is just a terrific mix for them.
So good point, David. And what I want to point out between like the Flying Pig, awesome beer selection that you cannot find anywhere.
Yeah.
Brick and Brew then mirrors that and offers bourbons that you've never heard of, like hundreds, literally
Yes.
hundreds.
Yes.
And their cocktails are freshly made, and another place that's great for food.
Yeah,
And
they've done a great job.
now let's talk about Alba, David.
Okay, Alba's this picture was taken last week when Alba was in the midst of trying to get some more outdoor seating. So they had to set up their front tables. They had to do all their measurements. They've been moving that planter that you see in the front. They've been moving things around to try to hurry up the decision makers of the borough to get them to allow the extra 6 seats out front and 1 table on the side, which gives them an extra 10 people. They do have a
10
deck on the
people.
back. Yeah, they do have a deck on the back, which is they've had for years, which helps their outdoor seating. But those extra 10 seats are going to be a big difference for them in the next couple of weeks. And so we're hoping for very swift action, and would love the support of the public to talk to the borough and say, please decide
Yes.
immediately so that these guys can make some money, because yeah, it's tough out there. It's extremely tough for the restaurants.
It is, and let's talk about that for a minute. Malvern Borough Council, who does an excellent job, is now forced to make decisions, just like everybody else,
Yes.
Upper Darby Township, everywhere.
Yes.
People now have to adapt. You have to make changes, because if you don't make changes and you're not growing, you're dying.
Yep.
So what do we want people to really see? I originally thought, oh, let's close off the street. That's not a good idea, and I admit it right now. But things that we can do is do what, David?
Well, it's really interesting because you brought that up about closing off the street, and the Malvern Business and Professional Association will put out our statement probably later today or tomorrow,
Yes.
officially telling Malvernites that we really, really appreciate what they have done on the Malvern
Right.
Community Forum. It's been so terrific that they've thought of this idea. It
Yes.
just doesn't work in Malvern. It's too
Right.
hard for the restaurants to make it happen. And our streets aren't made in blocks like Westchester and
Right.
Phoenixville and so forth. So, but having the support of this town is so important. And I know every restaurant owner has said it's amazing that the borough folks, the residents around here, are helping them by asking for stuff.
Yes. So, and I apologize, because Malvern Community Forum, I'm the one that made a post that had almost 500 likes and comments, and I was wrong. I was wrong, people.
But isn't that, it's so terrific to see the
It is.
support of, I mean, you had the idea, other people had the idea, and there are lots of people that agreed with you, but once the logistics of it was figured
Right.
out, okay, so what? But just the fact that you guys cared enough to say, we want to support these restaurants. and
Yes.
this is what maybe is a good way to do it.
So we can support them not only by doing the takeout, ordering online. A lot of them you can order online and pay for it.
That's correct.
What else can we do, David? Can we email the people in council, and like, what are some good action items that people that love our town, how can we help our local businesses?
Well, the one thing that everyone can do, not only the restaurants, but the small boutiques that are having a hard time, there's no question about it. Reach out to your boutiques, reach out to your restaurant owners and say, is there any other thing that we can do as a public to help you? And I know that they would really love that. But as a general statement, the public could reach out to any borough council member that they know and say to them, if a restaurant or a boutique has an idea, please
Yes.
be nimble, please be quick about your decisions. Please don't let it drag on for weeks and weeks, because weeks and weeks could mean plywood on the front window of somebody's store and vacancy. And we don't want that to happen anywhere in
Right.
this town. So, and our borough is small enough that I really feel like that we can do that, but a little extra pressure from the folks who pay the taxes in this town to borough council would
Right.
always help if needed. And I have to say the Borough Council has done a very good job. I would
Yes.
just like them to be a little faster.
Right, right. In a good way. Like we want
Yes,
people to reach out from Malvern Borough, and because every day that goes by, that's a local business that may be
that's right.
closing, that can't afford the lease that's on King Street.
That's
So
right.
we all want the same thing, and not to put pressure on the council, but understand that every day that goes by is a day that a local business could go, every week could
Yeah.
go out of business, and a
And
couple of them have.
And we have to look at what Borough Council is doing, because the safety of the people who shop along this street is super important, and
Right,
it needs to be well thought out and well looked at. So we're not asking anybody to, make a decision in 5 seconds, but
right.
we're just asking it to be as expedient as possible so that people are safe when there's a decision to be made, but it doesn't sit on someone's desk for very long.
Perfect. So let's circle back to Malvern Stroll tonight. I'm
Yeah.
so pumped.
Yeah, me
It
too.
starts at 5:30. People can start walking up and down. Well, you can start anytime.
You could start anytime, because any store in Malvern right now would love you to come in and buy something. So just go ahead and start.
Awesome. Bring your credit cards, bring your cash, bring
Yeah.
your masks.
Yeah, bring your mask. No
Yes.
question about it. Like, we see all the stuff on the news about people not behaving the way they should and not
Right.
paying attention. We don't want to be that community. We want to be the
Right.
safe community. And I really think that most people in this town believe in the safety is super important. I watch from my window every day at lunch and at dinner at Christopher's, which is my view out the window that I'm looking out right now. And I can see that people are doing what they should be doing. They are
Right.
not approaching until the server or the hostess says, okay, now the table's ready for you to sit down. That's the stuff that we need to do as a public. So be it. Let's do it that way. Let's be as safe as possible. But I say we should be physically distant, but we should be emotionally engaged, because
you
we need to,
me?
like, I just want to hug everybody, and we can't, right? But we can still be emotionally engaged. We just
Right.
can't be physically engaged right now.
So before I forget, here's another different layer to tonight: live music.
Oh my gosh, how did we forget that? You're
I
right.
don't know.
We have four or five artists, and some of them you have seen on other strolls. Some of them are returning, and some of them are new. And they're just going to be out there just livening up the street, which is
Awesome.
all that we need. We don't need a huge party yet. We just need some lively action on the streets.
So I love this. And as always, David, I thank you for your time. And today is such a monumentous day, because since
Yep.
December, we haven't done the Malvern Stroll.
We haven't done a stroll since December. And that's, typically we don't do strolls in January and February. We have sometimes done them in March, but always by April.
Yes.
So yeah, it's been a long time.
So I hope to see everybody there, whether you live in Malvern or you live in Westchester. Get your butts out. Finally, we are in yellow, not yet green, but live music, artists, food,
And
shops like
I'm
Posh.
gonna get my camera out, take some pictures of people that have a mask and maybe an umbrella and a credit card
it.
all at one time. That's gonna be so fun to watch.
That'll be me, David. That's going to be me. And I'll see you tonight.
Thank you, Stacie, for having me, and thanks for doing this always.
Oh, anytime. That's what I'm here for. I love our community. I love our town, and we'll always focus on local businesses.
The support has been fantastic. Just keep it up, Malvern.